Today, once again, is another entrepreneur story on the Tech Your Business podcasts. This is where they share their story, how technology has helped them, and how technology can help you to build and tech your business. So this is the Tech Your Business podcast, like I said, where we break down technology, inform you about the latest in technology to help your business learn more, earn more, and do more. My name is Peter, and we have a guest episode. Today's guest is Nick. Nick is the founder of CordBrick, and probably you've heard about CordBrick, probably haven't, but it's something really, really useful that would help my desk right now, actually. So welcome to the show, Nick.
Oh, thanks for having me, Peter. I appreciate the intro.
Yeah, so welcome to the show. Can you give us a quick overview of who you are and what CordBrick is?
Sure. Yeah, my name is Nick Barrett. I'm the founder of CordBrick LLC. I created this product about 4 years ago, and the reason I created CordBrick was because I was always dropping my phone cord off of my bedside and nightstand, and as they say, all great inventions are developed out of laziness, and that was definitely the case with mine. I thought, why can't I just create a small weighted brick that I can put on my nightstand, on my bed sheet, and then maybe I can even wrap my cord around it when I travel, so I can solve multiple problems of tangled cords in bags and then falling cords off of nightstands or desks. So that was basically the root of the invention a little over 4 years ago. And this year, actually, we just launched our second product, kind of a bigger version called DeskBrick for your desk. So maybe that's the one you need for your desk.
Oh yeah, because actually I have a lot of things. I have my router, I have a speaker, I have about 3 mobile phone chargers, I have my earbud charger, I have my watch charger.
Lots of channels for that. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's actually a really, really great product. So before you made CordBrick, did you have any experience developing building products?
None. I had zero
Ooh.
experience. And so learning the technology and the processes of manufacturing and then distributing your product to market have been one of the challenges of launching this business. Now a lot of people ask me, did I 3D print this product? And my answer is no, I did not. And it used to be that it's impossible to print silicone type materials on a 3D printer. Except this year, I just found a company that sells a new 3D printer that does print silicone materials, and it's amazing how thin you can get the little sections, and they are very tough and durable. And technology has been changing throughout me launching this business in just 4 short years. It's really amazing.
That's interesting. So can you walk us through the process of turning this idea of having this weighted brick to prevent you from looking for your cords in the middle of the night or in the morning, from the idea to the physical product? What process did you go through? What software, what tech did you use to get to this point?
Sure. So when I first started, I looked for a 3D designer. I didn't have any 3D design experience and didn't know of any programs. I do now, but I looked for someone to basically create a drawing, or a mock-up of a drawing that I had sent them. And so they did that, and they 3D printed that, and it was in hard plastic, and they sent it to me. And I thought, oh no, this won't really work. I mean, I need a different material. Um, and so fast forward a couple years after that, because I really stopped after that. That was in 2015 that I had originally had the concept of the idea. So fast forward back to 2020, um, I started looking for manufacturers right away in the U.S. because I thought, I want to manufacture this in the U.S. And I reached out to about 30 different silicone manufacturers. None of them responded except for one, and they were in Tampa, and I'm in South Florida, so that was reasonably close. So we started some discussions. I went to meet them in person, and they started giving me feedback on what they would need to change about my drawing to make it manufacturable. And anyone who's ever manufactured a product, this is pretty obvious. But if you haven't, you have to do something called DFM, design for manufacturing, because almost always the product that you actually end up making has a good bit of differences from the product that you had in conception, because there are limitations in manufacturing. excuse me, and what you can do in the processes. And for me, one of the problems was the thickness of certain different areas of the brick. So I've got the brick here, and in the center, we've got a big square area where we've put a weight in the middle of it, a steel weight inside. And so
Yeah.
at first, I didn't draw it with the steel weight inside, and the manufacturer said to me, listen, all inside there, if you can just imagine, this is liquid silicone when it goes in. Because it's so thick there, it won't dry in the middle. So it would be goopy, or it would cause a sinking in of the part. And so it could be defective. And so it turned out we had some problems with my first design that we actually went to production with. And I essentially had to throw away the mold, throw away a bunch of materials, and just completely scrap it as a lost cost. I wasn't able to sell any of them. And then I did one thing. What I should have done in the first place was I found someone who was able to prototype me parts in the United States. There's a couple different ways you can go about prototyping silicone parts. One of them, which I do frequently now, is I just talk to my current manufacturer and I have them make me a test mold. They make me a 1 cavity mold, and then they, within 3 to 4 weeks, will produce and then ship a part to me. And I can, feel what a real silicone part would be like. But back then, I didn't know to do that, and I wasn't connected with the right manufacturers to get that done. And plus, I wasn't really finished with my design. I had a lot of tinkering to go. So I found someone who was able to actually 3D print a mold, meaning the outside of the shell of the product, and then we injected liquid silicone in there, and we were able to do a test product that had a variety of different cord channel widths and curvatures and depths. And so we tested that out to find what we thought was the most user-friendly solution to then go to manufacturing after that. So I was able to get on the right track there. And so all of this took me basically a year to actually get any of my first products. So finally we got to manufacturing. I went through a gentleman that I knew through a family friend, about 4 connections deep. And he started sourcing from a factory that he was affiliated with in China. About a year goes by after that, and I sort of realized I need to get the cost down of these products, because this gentleman it seemed like he was marking them up to sell them to me, and then I was selling them to the end user. And that didn't really work, especially when you're trying to sell retail, wholesale, or particularly promotional products. They want the product for pennies. And so then I went to a trade show in Orlando, and I asked somebody at a promotional products trade show, I said, how much do you think I could make this for? And he gave me some obscenely low number, which I won't repeat now, but I was almost embarrassed that I was making it for, like 10 times the cost of what he said I should be making it for. And I said, wow, that's an eye opener. So I looked for an industrial engineer. I understood that I needed compression molding at that point. We had messed around with both compression and injection molding for silicone, which are both options. And then we worked on getting the cost to where I need it, which means we essentially went to a number of manufacturers and asked them for quotes and gave them a target cost. And we finally realized that we could get the costs pretty close to what that gentleman had told me. Not quite there, but we brought the cost down quite a bit, and they sent me samples of the product. And I said, wow, this is even better quality than I was getting before. So since then, we've been working with the same manufacturer, and they've given us, they're in China, and they've given us a great service and quality, and have really exceeded my expectations in every way, actually. So that it was a long process, and now I think I've kind of figured it out. We've got our second product that took me about 6 months to develop, whereas really getting this first original product to market in its current form, I mean, it's really a better part of 2.5 or 3 years.
Cool. Most times people see a product that looks as simple as that, and they think it's something you can just whip out in 2-3 days. But going through this process,
that's what I thought.
That's what I thought. Yeah, I thought, how hard can this be? I mean, one of my first thoughts of why I should launch this business was, how hard can this be? I mean, it's a small silicone brick. What's complicated about that? it's not like I was developing a car with thousands of parts or technology with software and programming. No, this is it's literally a physical piece of silicone and
Yeah.
steel. So yeah, but it's amazing how much more it cost me, how much longer it took me, how much more difficult it was than I originally thought. Not to say I would dissuade anyone from trying, but yeah, it was challenging.
It is. So in the course of building this product, in the course of before getting this product to market, you probably had to you mentioned the person at the trade show you had to show it to. You probably had to show it to a couple of manufacturers and other people. How did you go about protecting your intellectual property? Because two episodes ago, we talked about intellectual property. So I'd like to know how you went about preventing people from just picking up your idea and running with it.
Yeah, I think that is probably the most common issue I hear from new entrepreneurs or people who have not launched a business is, how do I make sure no one steals my idea? And I think it's probably a very human instinct to worry about people taking an idea that is yours, especially when you have the ability to protect it with intellectual property if you do it properly. But I would just first say, most likely, no one's going to steal your idea. And if they are, it's not going to be for a long time. And if they do, it means you've already been successful. So
Yes.
basically, you've got to get to a point where you prove the demand for the product. Almost no one is going to copy an idea based on the idea alone without having you or someone prove the concept in some way. So I would say first and foremost, you know, you can write a provisional patent if you're really worried, but I would say before you even do that, really ask some of your close friends, family, strangers, even, what do they think about your idea and can they poke any holes in it and would they pay for it? You've got to figure out two things when you first start a business. Number one is, what is the problem this product is solving and who is going to pay for it? And number two is, how am I exiting? How am I going to get out? How am I going to really make money from this? And those really determine the trajectory of your business. And the second question really determines every action that you take, which is, if I want to achieve this goal, what do I have to do to get there?
Interesting. All right. So we've talked about the making of the product. The next thing is the marketing of the product. So what role has technology played in helping you get this product out, helping you get this product in the hands of the final users, the consumers?
Yeah, and so to finish, I realized I didn't finish my thought. So to protect the product, we did go through with intellectual property, a utility patent, and design patents, and we do have a utility patent now. I've patented that in the USA. I have not patented it internationally, and I think the main reason for that is the difficulty in enforcing the legal overseas, going to foreign courts and things like that.
Yeah.
It can be quite an expense. So how did I get it to market? That was probably the toughest part of the entire thing, and it's still ongoing. We're currently in 3 channels. We're in the direct to consumer channel with this product, meaning we sell it on my website on CordBrick.com. We're in the wholesale retail space. So I just went yesterday and looked at some of my products in a local Lowe's store that we just went into. Very exciting. And then we're also in the promotional space, which means branded logos. So companies will put their logo on this product and they'll give it out to either their customers, their employees at trade shows. But each one of them has been slightly different. Direct to consumer, pretty straightforward. Building a website, Amazon, not easy, but you've got a lot to learn there. But that was the first step and the easiest for sure. The next step, the wholesale, retail, got to get packaging, got to make sure you're following all the legal restrictions that may be on your product and guidelines. Your messaging is extremely important. You have a very limited amount of real estate on your box or package to communicate what your product does. People have never seen this before. You're not there to explain it to them in person. So they've got to really get it just from the short few words or icons or logos that you put on the product. So it's been quite a lot of trial and error of all these channels, of directing customers to my website, looking for press and reaching out for gift season, because this is a really giftable product.
Yeah.
And then things like that. So it's an ongoing process.
That's interesting. So when we're talking about the intellectual property protection, you talked about utility and design patent. I think that's the first time I'm hearing about the utility part. So can you just maybe just a little bit let us know what that is?
Yeah, so if you're a Shark Tank aficionado or have watched Shark Tank or are gonna watch Shark Tank, pay attention to when they say they've got a patent. Mark Cuban or Mr. Wonderful or someone will say, is it a design patent or a utility patent? And the reason they ask that is because it is a utility patent is much more protectable and broad and all-encompassing usually than a design patent is. When you submit a design patent, and you can look these up on the USPTO. It starts with the letter D for design and then a bunch of numbers. And then what you submit is you submit drawings, and you usually don't submit too many different drawings. You're usually just protecting one particular design. And the limitation with that is that people can change very minor things about your design, and it's not technically infringing on your product. A utility patent works a little bit differently. You submit drawings, but you also submit a lot of written claims and descriptions about what exactly you're claiming is unique about this product in terms of how it works. So my product has these beautiful end channels on the left and right side, and what that allows you to do is you can snap, wrap, and trap your cord, and then you can even unwrap it untangled. And then you can even flex open the jaws on the side and you can grab your phone and you can stand it. And so what that does is it provides a lot of functionality to the user that my competitor products do not. And so that is worth protecting. And that is what we did. We protected the design, the functionality, the material, all of the above in the utility patent, which is how the product works. And I found a great utility patent attorney, and he has been very tedious at all the technical aspects of it, something I certainly could not do. So that definitely a big piece of advice: get a great utility patent or patent attorney to write a good patent for you. Make sure you cover all your bases, and then after you get your patent approved, which you did this past year, excuse me, we filed continuation patents on the same patent, which means we're basically adding more to the original patent about what this protects. And so partially because we've got a similar product with CordBrick that has a little bit different utility with these vertical end channels here and a little rib in the middle to balance your phone. We wanted to continue to protect that. And so looks like we're going to be able to.
Interesting. No, that's actually something I never knew about, and it's actually very useful for anyone who wants to go into physical products.
Yes.
Very, very useful. Okay, so you talked about the three channels you're using: direct to consumer, that's your website and Amazon, wholesale and retail, and also the promotional channel. So talking about the direct to consumer channel, what between your website and the marketplaces, do you see? Where do you see the most traction? Because I'm asking this because I talked to someone earlier, like a few episodes ago, and they said they get better traction on Amazon than on their website. So I'm trying to know if it's a common theme.
Sadly, yes, they are right. I wish it wasn't the case. I mean, we've, actually, what a lot of companies do is they design their website to look like Amazon, look like you're checking out on Amazon. It's a common tactic and strategy of websites, because with Amazon, there is this sort of trust that people have with it after using it for years, basically knowing they can, have guilt-free returns, and no questions asked on most of the products that they send back. There's usually the most reviews, and you know that they're reasonably reliable on Amazon. And people are just familiar with it. So it's very difficult to drive traffic to a website that people have never been to and to get them to convert a purchase. And I would additionally say that, particularly since COVID, ad click prices online basically doubled, and they have not gone down, and they will not go down. That doesn't look like. And what that means is every time you run your video during a YouTube ad or something, or before a YouTube video as an ad, someone clicks on that, you've got to pay basically $1 per click. And with an inexpensive product like mine, that becomes a problem. If you have a really expensive product or um, a service that is several $1,000s or something, maybe you can afford to spend $1 per click for 30, 40, 50, 100 clicks until you get a customer. But if you think about my product, it's only $10. You can't spend 100 clicks to get a sale because you just won't make as much money back, because maybe someone buys 2 or 4 or 6, but it's not going to cover, say, $100 or $50 in clicks. So you've got to convert quite a bit better and get your cost per click down when you're going to your website, just because of the nature of the market of clicks and the type of product that I have. And so that is one of the reasons we decided to go into retail, was because we knew we just needed to get this product in front of people. And so, yeah, Amazon has been tremendous for us. I'm very thankful for it. It's been quite a bit more revenue than we've made on our website. And certainly even people that I know that, they know me, they still go to Amazon instead of my website to buy something. And I just shake my head.
I think most times we already have an Amazon account, so they're probably already logged in and they just buy, right?
Yeah, and the free shipping, and so we've even started offering free shipping to try to compete, which is difficult to do.
No, it's actually, and the thing it said about the cost per clicks going up, it's actually really true, and it seems to be getting worse each year. Truly seems to be getting worse. So you talked about your Build Something initiative. So can you just tell us a bit about what that is about?
Yeah, so most companies have some sort of charitable mission or purpose, and one that's close to my heart is this mission, this Build Something mission. And what that's about is, so we sell bricks, and I thought, what can we do? Well, for me, I'm a recovering alcoholic. I've got 7 years since my last drink as of March this year, and when you're first getting into sobriety or coming off the street from drug use or homelessness, having a safe place to stay is one of the things that most people do not have. And so in Naples here, we've got an organization that manages sober housing and gets people to meetings and helps them get jobs of people that are struggling. And so we donate a very small amount to this organization from the profits that we make from our product sales to help them eventually construct and manage new housing. It's going to take quite a few of our bricks to build a house, but we're going to try. And then the other part of that is, build something. Just by seeing that, build something really doesn't have anything to do with CordBrick. You're not really building anything with CordBrick, but my goal is, this business has given me such a tremendous amount of confidence in myself that I think kind of coinciding with the 12-step recovery program. If you know anything about the 12-step recovery program, or for alcohol, for gambling, for sex, for all kinds of stuff, the 12th step is to go share that your experience with other people who have the same problem, who may be struggling or just may need to hear it. And so with entrepreneurship, I feel like I get a little bit of the same thing, because I'm able to go to some local universities. There's one in Fort Myers called FGCU, and I'm able to speak to the entrepreneurship students there. And so the goal is to inspire some of them to create something and see if I can play a part in them launching their business, and by sharing my experience of my journey of building something and how I stumbled through it, and maybe help them get there a little bit faster.
I can see how helpful that is, because a lot of people who are building, especially for the first time, like I always tell people, when I started my business, I didn't know any entrepreneurs or anything. So it was actually really difficult for me, because at some point it looks like one really big challenge and you don't really have anyone you can talk to, anyone who has similar experiences and all that. So I can see how helpful, and congrats on 7 years too. I think I had my last drink in 2021. So I'm just 3 years in. So I think, yeah.
Oh, good for you. Congratulations.
I should be aiming for 7 years next.
It's a big deal. Yeah, 3 years is a long time. So
yeah, it is. It is. So back to technology. What tech tools, what tech software do you use in running CordBrick, in managing CordBrick, that you would recommend?
I'm just going to stick with one program on this, and it's through Autodesk, and Autodesk makes AutoCAD, and then they make Fusion 360, which are design programs for industrial engineers. And to be honest, I haven't learned those, but one that I did learn is their free program. It's called Tinkercad, and that is a mesh software program. So basically, you just choose shapes, and then you can make them solid or shadow, essentially cutouts, and you just kind of blend them together and make whatever shape you need, and then you can 3D print it. And it's been amazing for prototyping products for me at home. It's a free program, and you can even import your designs into that next program, so it'll give your designer a head start. But it was basically a way for me, someone with no engineering experience, to translate my ideas from my head to an actual computer design, and move forward quicker, look at it in 3 dimensions without having to physically make the product, which is a long time consuming process. So yeah, that one in particular has been extremely helpful.
Tinkercad. I think that should be maybe an easier version of AutoCAD.
Yes. Oh yeah, very easy. Just about kids can use it. I mean, it's very simple. With just a little bit of training and practice and videos, maybe 30 minutes, I would say that most people could start to create something that is unique, is of their own.
Yeah, that's interesting. I think I'll check that out. Never heard of it before. So for CordBrick, what's next for CordBrick? How would you, in the future, what do you see? I know you talked about your desk brick. So yeah.
Yeah, we've got some other brick type products in the works. These two are cord management products and desktop and nightstand organization products. I've got products for drinks, products for your phone, products for earbuds, and so in a startup, one of the things you learn is you only have limited cash. You don't have unlimited money and credit.
Yeah.
So even though I've got all these ideas and they're pretty close to being manufacturable, you don't really have the money to do more than one at a time when you're first starting. I mean, it took me 3 years to launch my second product. So hopefully we'll have a new one out by next year sometime. And that would be good. If we start releasing a new product every year, I would start to feel good about that. But I want to give people more reasons to buy from us. And I want to build a brand. I think with this product, yes, it can be knocked off. The ones I've seen one that's not weighted, doesn't have any weight inside, and so really doesn't work. But
yeah,
either way, people can still get fooled by those products and stuff. So I always try to create something that is high quality and that is unique and that is different and protectable too. You don't want to compete with people who are already making a lot of what you're thinking of. You want to make some major changes or add some additional benefit and give yourself some competitive advantage that's different to set you apart. And so that enables you to build a brand, because after a while, your brand can get big enough where it almost doesn't matter if people copy you, because you can get your costs low enough to where it's not that much different than their inferior product. And yeah, so it just you want to you need to have that brand strength, because at the end of the day, that's really what people these days are buying, is the name brand, rather than the intellectual property as much, because intellectual property moves so fast, and of course people do come up with different ideas and solutions. And so yeah, getting it out to the masses, reaching them as fast as possible, and then just getting whatever your brand is to stick in their mind is extremely important.
Yeah, that's actually very important. So if you go back to 2015, when you first had the idea, or maybe 2020, when you first started building the idea, what advice would you give to yourself at that point? What's the best piece of advice you give to yourself?
Yeah, I hear that question sometimes, especially when doing podcasts, and that's a really tough one to answer, because you don't know what you don't know. And for someone like me, I don't really take advice that well. I think that actually makes a good founder in a lot of ways. You got to kind of figure things out yourself. I mean, the reason
Yeah.
that I'm a founder and other people are creators is because they say, what I want does not exist. So I need to create it. And then, so what would I tell myself? I would say, work work more, work harder, work faster, work more efficiently, find a way to go faster than you're going right now, because in a couple of years you're going to wish you had went even faster. And it's not like I take time off. I mean, I work basically every day, morning till night. I don't take lunch breaks. I just eat in the evening time is my usual schedule. So I'm really focused on this. But if I could go back to maybe year one and year two, I suspect that I would look at myself and I would say, you're wasting quite a bit of time with some things that aren't going to pay off that quickly.
Yeah. Okay. So for the listeners who want to hear more from you, who want to learn more about you, who want to maybe get CordBrick or get your new Dex brick or anything else when it comes out, what's the best way they can reach you?
Yeah, so of course, CordBrick's been out for a couple of years now, and then Brick just came out this year, and both are available on my website, CordBrick.com. Both are available on Amazon. CordBrick is available now in about a quarter of the Lowe's stores throughout the country, so you might be able to find it there. And now we sell branded promotional products, so we can also brand them for your business. And so you can reach out to me if you're interested in that, and my contact is nick@cordbrick.com. You can find CordBrick. I love if you follow us at CordBrick, of course, on any of the main social media sites out there.
All right. So cordbrick.com for the website. It's if you go to Lowe's, a quarter of the stores of Lowe's have it in stock. Then promotion, if you want to do promotional products, you can contact Nick at cordbrick.com or at CordBrick on any of the social platforms. So the website will be on the screen. The links would be in the show notes once this episode goes live. So thank you so much, Nick, for coming on the Tech and Business Podcast. And for the listeners, did you get any value? Yeah. For the listeners, did you get any value from this episode of the podcast? If you did, please share it with anybody you know who it would help. Maybe they want to start a new product and they're stuck, or they feel it's a big challenge, or they've started the product and maybe they're still stuck, or they're trying to figure out their way around. Share it with them. And if you want to be the first person to know when we post more helpful content like this for your business, don't forget to follow, like, and subscribe to the podcast wherever you're seeing us or watching or hearing us on. So we have, this should be episode 90. We bring out an episode a week. So that means if you listen to more than 10 episodes a day, you won't be done with everything till we come out with the next episode next week. So till next week, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Thank you, Nick, for coming on, and bye for now.